you're coming in from. If you're outside of the U.S., let me know what country you represent. Throw up your flag. Family, I need you to smash up the like, smash up the like, smash up the likes. Also, if you have not done so already on YouTube, after you subscribe, there's a little bell next to your subscribe button. Go ahead and click that thing right now so you can get your notifications each time I drop a new video like this. That way you'll be in the loop. I'm gonna let a few hundred of y'all come in, then I'm going in. But then in the meantime, and in between time, I'm going to give some shots out to the early birds, starting with dun, dun, dun. Let's see. Okay, I look like I'm a little ahead of y'all. So I'm gonna slow it down a little bit. Okay, where are y'all? There we go. Mo V, what's up, Mo V? Yeah, man. This is how they do it. This is what goes down on the other side of the law. This is how they do it on the other side of the law. Yep. Public opinion. Cold world. Absolutely. I'm going in, fam. I'm gonna let everybody else just catch up. So we got the 3 former Memphis police officers who were acquitted today of state charges, including second-degree murder in the fatal beating of Tyre Nichols after he ran from a traffic stop in 2023. A jury which appeared to be all white took about 8.5 hours over 2 days to find Tadaris Bean, Demetrius Haley, and Justin Smith not guilty on all charges after a 9-day trial in state court in Memphis. After the jury's verdict was read, the defendants hugged their lawyers as relatives of the former officers cried. One relative yelled, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus, for allowing some uncivilized mutts to pounce on and murder a man in cold blood and get away scot-free. Thank you, Jesus." Absolutely incredible. The 3 defendants still face the prospect of years in prison. After their conviction on federal charges last year, though they were acquitted of the most serious charges then too. Nichols, a 29-year-old black man, fled a traffic stop after he was yanked out of his car, pepper sprayed, and hit with a taser. 5 officers who are also black caught up with him and punched, kicked, and hit Nichols with a police baton, struggling to handcuff him as he called out for his mother just steps from his home. Nichols died January 10, 2023, 3 days after the beating. Footage of the beating captured by a police poll camera also showed the officers milling about, talking and laughing as Nichols struggled. His death led to nationwide protests, raised the volume on calls for police reforms in the U.S., and directed intense scrutiny of police in Memphis, a majority black city. So let's stop right there. His death led to nationwide protests, raised the volume on calls for police reform in the U.S., and directed intense scrutiny of police in Memphis, a majority black city. So even in a majority black city, where a black man is pulled over by all black police officers, he can still be killed, murdered in cold blood like a dog by uncivilized mutts. How is that possible? Conditioning, indoctrination. When you become part of a system and you buy into that system, when you find out the worst about that system, and you buy into the worst part of that system, the worst part of that system that allows police to violate the rights of citizens with impunity, the right to especially violate marginalized groups with impunity, then you have these type of results. So even the uncivilized mutt, he can't see the forest from the trees because he wants to assimilate. He wants to assimilate so bad that he would take on the ways of the oppressor. Yeah. He wants to assimilate so badly that he would take on the ways of his oppressor. Remember back in the day when there were enslaved people out on the plantation picking cotton or whatever it was that they were tasked to do? They would invariably have a black person overseeing them. And they would equip them with whips and rifles and give them the permission to shoot other black people if they dared get out of line or try to escape. Some black people become police officers so that they can prey on their own communities. That's a fact. I'll tell you how to identify one. You can identify them before they become police officers. Think about the blacks that you know who went to school, it's two types. It's the kind who were in school who were bullies. They may have exerted some type of power over other people. They were bullies. And then you got the ones who were actually bullied, who couldn't defend themselves or wouldn't defend themselves, or they were just very nondescript, unassuming. Nobody paid attention to them. They didn't get the girls. They wasn't popular. They wasn't a popular athlete. They didn't have entertainment aspirations. They was just there. People saw right through them. They're probably the absolute most dangerous because they can't wait to get some type of power over people to where they can make people bend at their will. And at the moment that they put that police uniform on, it's like they transform from Clark Kent to Superman. Like that. Immediately. These are the type of dudes who are on the police force. Regardless of race. These are the type of people who make up the majority of police officers. The majority of police officers are losers. I'm not talking about losers becoming police officers, making them losers. I'm talking about they started off as losers. They went into the force because they were losers. They started off losers. So they wanted to become a police officer, not to make the neighborhood safe, not to make their community safe and protect the good people from the bad people. They didn't become police officers to be the good guy, to put more good guys on the streets. They became police officers so that they could get back at a society that ignored them. A society that did not respect them. That's why so many of them, when they put the suit on, they talk to people. They'll talk to a grown-ass person. You can be 80 years old, and they'll try to talk to you like you're a child. What did I say? No, I make the shots. I call the shots. No, I'll tell you what's gonna happen next. I say what's gonna happen and what you're gonna do, and that's what you do. That's how they talk until they run into somebody like my homeboy Nick from South Florida Accountability. They run into Nick. Nick be like, "Now you shut up. Now you got me messed up. Now you shut up. What's your name and your badge number, boy?" I don't know if you call him a boy. That's something I would have said. Boy, what's your name and your badge number, boy? Just got to remind them, fam, that they work for us. We don't work for them. The uncivilized mutts were acquitted. It's on video, fam, what they did. Clearly violated the man, clearly murdered him. It's on video. But they acquitted him. Who? You got to think about it. What type of people would watch that video? What type of people would get that evidence and allow some uncivilized mutts like that to go back into the system as if nothing ever happened? Now, keep in mind, they're not fully off the hook yet because they got federal charges to face. But still, that's one step, that puts them one step closer to the exit door. What type of person would fix their brain to deliver a not guilty vote? An uncivilized mutt. The jurors are uncivilized mutts. That's who would have done it. Because there ain't no way I would have been on the jury and found them not guilty. I don't give a damn how much pressure they would have tried to put on me. All of them, they could have all tried to gang up on me and say, "Hey, man, look, man, we got to go home, man. Look, man, man, come on, man, just found him not guilty, man. These police officers, come on now, man. The guy's dead. Ain't nothing we can do about it, man. These guys got futures. They got families. They got children. They got a future. Hey, find them not guilty so they can go on about their business. They're sorry, man. They're remorseful. Hey, now I'll punish their asses. I'll be the lone holdout. I'll be the one that'll guilty. All their asses are guilty. But this has been going on in America. One of the easiest ways to circumvent justice is to put people in position of authority who have no morals, who are morally bankrupt, whose values is as low as the flow. That's all you got to do. And this is why America is so backwards. Societies are supposed to go forward. This is one society that continues to outdo itself going backwards. I mean, America got it down pat. America got this down. America got going backwards down pat. America got not growing socially down pat. Anybody else, anywhere else, you would say that a person that can't grow, a society that doesn't grow, that doesn't advance, that doesn't learn from its past failures, you would think that that's a society that is stuck, a Neanderthal society. But somehow Americans seem to think that they're on the right path of advancement as it continues to go backwards on every level. They murdered that man on video. And just like with Rodney King, they found him not guilty. Everybody saw it. Even the ones who found him not guilty, they knew that they was guilty of doing it, but they're cop apologists. So in their eyes, cops can't do no wrong unless they do it to them or somebody look like them. Then they gotta punish them. Remember the Australian woman who was gunned down by the black guy? His last name was Muhammad. I think his last name was Muhammad, but Muhammad is in his name, first or last name. He shot the woman. I believe they were in maybe Minnesota. She had called because she heard a noise disturbance at her house. She called the police. The police came out to her house, and she knocked on the window of the cop car, and it spooked the police officer, and he just turned and shot her. They put his ass in jail for 20 years. Like that. So when you hear people say, when a white person is killed, and you online and stuff, or you hear people say stuff like, well, where are the protests? You don't have to protest, dumbass. Ain't no need to protest because justice is coming. And you know justice is coming. Don't need to protest. You think black people be protesting for their health? They protest to put pressure on the system, to put pressure on the authorities to follow through with justice. Because, when it comes to black life, it just ain't a priority to these uncivilized mutts. They killed that man in cold blood. They killed him in cold blood, man. It's on video. They killed him in cold blood. And a jury of uncivilized mutts let the police officers off scot-free. This is how they've always been able to do folks dirty, by using the laws. When you hear people say stuff like we're a nation of laws, those laws are not in place for justice to be served. Those laws are in place to punish others who try to break those laws and use those laws to their advantage. Those laws are in place to protect some and punish others who do the exact same thing. Those laws are not in place to have a cohesive society. They're not in place for righteous reasons. Those laws are in place to get money and to control. Money and control. That's what those laws are there for. They are not there to punish the bad people. Those laws are there to selectively punish those who they consider to be bad for their ideologies, their agenda. That's right. The judges, they have a lot of latitude. You can go through the whole process of a trial and everything and be found guilty. Okay, here we go, fam. My bad. My bad. If you're just not joining the live, fam, we was talking about the officers. All right. I had some technical difficulties here with the live. Phone got hot. All right, fam, if you're just not joining, I was talking about the uncivilized mutts who killed Tyre Nichols in Memphis. They were acquitted of second-degree murder today. Another miscarriage of justice. A jury of uncivilized mutts found them not guilty. I'm gonna tell you straight up, fam, this is an uncivilized ass country. They can say what they want to say about Afghanistan and Iraq and Iran and countries in Africa, but this is an uncivilized ass country. Because ain't no way, there's no way possible those uncivilized mutts should have been found innocent. But that's why a lot of them become police officers, so that they can get away with crimes. Imagine that. Imagine that, fam. Becoming a police officer so that you can commit crimes and get away with it. Yeah. It's a lot of them out there that's like that. It's a cold game. Cold game. Sexy K, what's up? Seaside, what is that? Blade Runners? Okay. That's right. The blue wall of silence has no accountability. No accountability. Hopefully those Fed charges will lock their asses up and hold them for a minute. You see, cases like this would happen a lot less frequently if they would actually do the job of protecting the public. A DA's number one job is public safety. So when you see these people getting off for committing crimes that you know that are these people that are a danger to society, and they get off for committing crimes and they let them back out on the streets, just know that it starts with the DA. The DA has the top. It ain't the sheriff. You might think it's the police. It ain't the sheriff. It's the DA. The DA's number one job is public safety. So when you see these uncivilized mutts getting off, that means the DA didn't do their job. The DA did not do their job. And don't think just because a DA brings charges that DA is on the side of the public. Sometimes the DA will bring a charge and they bring that charge just to placate the public, just to make the public relax and make them think they're doing something. But what they'll do is they'll bring charges and they'll present a very, very shitty case. A case where they know that they're not going to win, because they want to allow certain people to walk. They got so many cases they can always make up for it. They got a whole lot of cases, man. So sometimes the DA will bring charges just to calm the public down, especially if it's a high-profile case and people want justice. They'll be like, look, man, they'll go to one of them cops or somebody like, look, I don't want to do this, but I got to charge you. But don't worry about it, man. I got to charge you. You're going to be charged. You're going to be arrested. We're going to give you a bond. I've already talked to the judge. The judge already said that he's going to give you a bond, and your bond's going to be $20,000. You know, you got if you need help paying the bond, you know, I got some people that can help you out with that. You probably won't be in jail just for processing. You probably won't even be in there for more than 10 hours. And then you'll go home and we just ride out the case. I've already talked to the prosecutor. You're not going to spend a lot of time. They're not going to go hard on you, but they just got to do something just to calm everybody down. You're going to beat this case. Just don't worry about it. Just be patient and respect the process. But we're going to take good care of you, man. You know, you're one of us. Wink, wink. Yeah, man. That's how they do. That's how they get down. America have so much crime because of the double standard system that they have, the triple standard system. That's why it's so much crime and it's so much moral erosion in America. Because of all of the picking and choosing when it wants to stand on business, when it wants to protect, to act like they want to protect something. It's all of the different standards, man. It's all of that. That's why it's so much crime, and because of the media. The way the media glamorize crime, the way the media prop up gangsters. America is infatuated with murder, crime, corruption. Infatuated with it. The media plays a huge role. Hollywood plays a huge role in it. America like to, depending on who the criminal is, they'll hide you and forget about you. Otherwise, they'll celebrate you. And we ain't going to even get into the legalized criminals. Those ones in the healthcare industry, in the energy industry. Yeah, that's right. I said transportation industry. Yeah. The education industry. The medical industry. Healthcare. Yeah. Yeah. Politicians. Gangsters. Everywhere. But then what they do is they point at the poor people and they try to act like the poor people is the problem. Like, so when a poor person commits a regular old street crime or whatever, they try to act like they are the worst. That's the Scrooge of society. They try to act like the poor people is the biggest problem in America. The poor people ain't the biggest problem. It is the rich. It is the wealthy. They are the biggest problem because they create the conditions. They control the conditions. I see their asses. I got them down pat, man. I got them. I see them. Poor people running up in those stores and grabbing clothes, and we looking at them. They're so good at the propaganda. They got a lot of us looking at watching the people run up in the stores and grabbing clothes and running out. They got a lot of us looking at it like they need to kill them motherfuckers. They need to die. They got to die. Man, that's crazy, man. Too, when they get shot, ain't nobody gonna say. So we looking at them steal a couple of $1,000s worth of clothes and we losing our minds. We see them stealing a couple of $1,000s worth of beauty products and stuff, and we looking at them like they need to die. Meanwhile, these gangsters in these corporations and in Congress are stealing hundreds of millions and billions of dollars, and we don't say anything about that. We're not up in arms about that. That just don't make us as angry. It just don't do it for us. It don't make us as angry. In fact, we want to take pictures with them. We want to meet them, shake their hand, and get some information and read their books. Amazing. What's up, Mike Dan? CM Jack, what's up? Mike Brown. Connie Hodge, what's up, Connie? I wouldn't say defund the police. Don't defund the police. First of all, I know what you mean by it. I know the messaging, but the messaging is bad because it sounds like you're saying, take the money from the police. It's not defund the police. The messaging, the defund the police messaging is bad. Instead of saying defund the police, it should be more like reallocate funds or something like that. Reallocate funds to social services, right? Because that's where the problem lies. We have a social problem. It's all social. The connection, there's a disconnection socially in America. So if we allocate those funds, reallocate a lot of those funds that we're sending to the police, not defunding them, giving them the funds they need to do what they got to do, but reallocating those funds to social services like healthcare and housing and education and mental health, after school programs, prenatal care, child care. We start doing that, and then you'll see the nation get healthier. You'll see people less worried about where their next meal coming from, and you'll see, and what that would foster is people who are less desperate. So if people are less desperate, they won't be so quick to go out and stick a gun in somebody's face. They won't be so quick to start fighting. They won't walk out of the house just mad and just angry. These companies in America are so diabolical. They've been able to ship jobs overseas and then somehow, some way, blame the people and blame the common person who's trying to look for a job, blame the problem on them. It's their fault. It's everybody's fault but the companies who are sending the jobs overseas. And the only reason why they're sending the jobs overseas is to save money, is to put more money into their pockets. That's it. So these uncivilized mutts that killed Tyre Nichols underscores everything that we say and everything that we mean when we talk about how all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Boy, imagine having a job where you can kill people and get away with it. Like, on your job, you can just kill people and get away with it. Now, being a police officer ain't the only type of job you can kill people and get away with. Now, y'all know that. Because pharmacists kill people and get away with it all the time. They prescribe people the wrong drugs, or they prescribe people the drugs that are too strong. Sometimes the drugs are too weak. People die every day from medical malpractice. And you can't say nothing about it. If you do, you're going to be out of a job. Medical malpractice is one of the hardest things to prove, because why are you in the hospital in the first place? You came to the hospital because you was hurt and you was aching, you was ill, and you came here for our help. So you were already in trouble. So we just tried to help you. So if you die while you at the hospital, most people ain't gonna even question it. They gonna think that you just died because you were sick. Not because somebody did something nefarious. Somebody said it's not the doctors, it's the pharmacists. Who said that? It's not the doctors, it's the pharmacists writing the wrong prescription. No. No. It says it's not the pharmacist, it's the doctors, right? So are you saying that if the doctor write the wrong prescription, the pharmacists don't have any type of accountability whatsoever? The doctors are just supposed to the pharmacist is supposed to just blindly fill the prescription? I know that's what they do, but does that sound right though? And on top of everything, a lot of these prescriptions that these pharmacists write, they know these prescriptions are addictive. They don't have any accountability. A lot of these prescriptions that the pharmacists fill, they know that the long terms are devastating to other body organs and tissue. They don't have any accountability? I don't think so. No, homie, don't think so, man. No, they got to be held accountable too. So the pharmacist, if you go to school to sell drugs, you good. If you don't go to school to sell drugs, you go. Yeah. That's my time, fam. I'm gonna check y'all out later, man. And if I find out any other information on this case, I'm gonna be following this case all the way through. So, especially as these federal charges turn up. So that's it for now, fam. Enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. Janet T, I see you. Who was that? Marvy Lewis, Honey D, Mizzo, DG, Seaside, no more talk.